Protocol, decentralized bonding curve curation market, providing access to data providers and other services through algorithmic token generation. Visit zap.org for more information. And also, Carnomaly, bridging the gap between blockchain and the automotive industry with buying, finance, and records all on chain. Visit carnomaly.io for more information.
I always act like a douchebag in the beginning, so I'm sorry, guys. I know that. Stop, Patrick. Stop. Welcome to Gokhshtein Unfiltered. Thank you very much for tuning in. As always, on Wednesday night, we always start off late because of Ross McDonald, who bought a new motorcycle. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you to our sponsors, Zap and Carnomaly. Thank you very much for sponsoring the show. Tonight, I'm not even going into the monologue. We're skipping that. We got three amazing people with me here tonight to talk about some really interesting subjects. I have Leslie, I have Patrick, and I have Corey. They will go ahead and introduce themselves. My name is David Gokhshtein. You already know me, Mr. No Unfiltered. And listen, I gotta say one thing: do not steal the show's name, man. Like, I'm the one who has Unfiltered. I've been repping Unfiltered for the last 2 years. Where are you coming from stealing Unfiltered? Just had to say that. Somebody stole Unfiltered. At least give me credit, man. I'm the potty mouth of social media. Anyway, how's it going, guys?
Good. I'm happy to be here. And I will not be stealing Unfiltered. I'm glad to join you with permission.
Thank you, Les. Thank you.
I guess I'll just do a quick intro. So I'm Leslie Quander-Wooldridge. I'm actually a writer, editor, speaker, and coach. And I write a lot about personal finance, including cryptocurrency for G Media. So hey, shout out to G Media. Also, though, I've contributed to outlets like Business Insider, Men's Health, Washington Post. But I'm just here right now representing me. Super happy to be here and love this crew. So really happy to get into the topics that are coming up. And I think there's really a lot to say. There's a lot of news going on. So thanks for the welcome.
Corey, how's it going, man? Let everybody know who you are.
Yeah, Corey here. Background was ex-military guy, Air Force guy, software guy. Background in investigation, some cool investigative works. I got some cool stories there. Also cybersecurity consultant, blockchain advisor. And yeah, just happy to be here to be in this space. I also do a lot of speaking engagements, educate people on cybersecurity and cryptocurrency, among many other things in regards to mental health, psychology, and stuff like that. So just happy to be here and looking forward to this podcast.
Patrick Booth Jr., what is going on? Go ahead. It's your time to shine.
Yeah, I guess so. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, I typically hang out in like DAOs or with Crypto Blood. I'm a cryptocurrency musician, software engineer, as well as multifaceted creator in multimedia arts. What's good, everybody? Been tokenizing my music since 2017. Good to be on.
All right, cool. And listen, I appreciate you guys coming on. It was last minute. Seriously, guys, like this was last minute. I contacted everybody like 2 hours before the show. My fault as always, because I got to do everything.
Obviously, we pulled it together.
For sure, and like I totally appreciate it because Ross always drops the ball here. Like ever since he got his motorcycle, he's been dropping the ball. So like, it is what it is. Like I do apologize.
No, this is good. Hey Ross, shout out to Ross.
Shout outs to Ross. No shout outs to Ross.
Ross, he's the boss.
So I really want to talk about like, let's start off with Clubhouse and what Clubhouse has done to go ahead and onboard people into this space. How do you guys feel? Do do you feel like Clubhouse is the best outlet right now to be on when it comes to cryptocurrency and blockchain technology discussions?
Nah, I'll say it. I'll take it first. Hell no. Like, besides, bro, there's so many people faking the funk on Clubhouse when it comes down to it. I think the best place to be is Discord, for sure, without a shadow of a doubt. But of course, that just might be like my millennial showing. I just see way more growth and way more, like, community and just way more contribution and actual, like, people using the technology instead of just talking about the technology and not necessarily knowing what they're doing. Like, yo, I was on a phone call with this guy. I don't want to name drop him, but like, he was pretty much telling me, man, dude, I need a way to like tokenize all these people that I just built a community with. Cause like, yo, I got 12K in credit card debt. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't even know what wallets to use. Like, bro, I need your help. And I'm just like, dang, man. Like, this guy he's got like 80K like Twitter followers. Actually, I think it's like somewhere between like 290K Twitter followers across like 2 different Instagram accounts. And I'm just like, bro, you serious, man? That's ridiculous. And like, he had like Paris Hilton, Deadmau5, Drake Bell, like all these celebrity like influencers in his Clubhouse rooms. And these people, like, they kind of know, but they don't really know. They're not really like at the grassroots. You know what I'm saying? And I think the grassroots is on Discord, is on Telegram, is crypto Twitter. So it's a good way to like get ideas and sort of like, preach knowledge. But yeah, that's my opinion.
Leslie?
All right, so I'm going to take a slightly contrarian position on that. So while I can appreciate that Clubhouse isn't necessarily grassroots, and by the way, when we're talking about Clubhouse, we're talking about the audio only app. So you can, if you don't know, if you have Android, if you haven't caught up to it yet, it's iPhone only at this point, although it's supposed to be coming out with Android. But no, I think Clubhouse is actually great. It's one of my social media platforms that I appreciate. And I do agree with Patrick. There are some rooms going on where you have to be really careful who you are listening to, because there is some misinformation that can happen, right? But we're always saying in crypto, and even in personal finance, I'm saying, you have to do your own research. I think if you get in the right room and you get in the right spaces, you can make amazing connections. Look, Clubhouse is where I met you, David, right? And so I can't be upset about that, right? I met Patrick in Clubhouse, Corey on Clubhouse. Like, I think when you get around the right people, it can be great. And what I really like about it is that there are so many access points that you can have that are not necessarily going to happen on Twitter, right? Because Twitter is very like, okay, you said something, then I say something, then you say something. But Clubhouse, we're all on real time. These rooms are going 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. We're not going to talk about some of the late night conversations that we've had, but you really can get to know people and you really can get to be part of a community. And I think when it comes to personal finance, when it comes to crypto community, when it's knowledgeable people, right? When there's diversity of thought and intellectual discussion, community is super important. So I'm going to say it's up there. Like, Twitter has been established. We know that. I think Clubhouse is a really great place to be right now with crypto. That's my thought.
Corey?
Yeah, I think we're somewhere in the middle right now. I think Clubhouse is starting to get the network effects. People coming in from all different walks of life. I think there's a good platform to educate new people on cryptocurrency. I am a few Discord groups myself. There's a lot of developers in there, and the difference in Clubhouse is the fact that we can have these voice-to-voice conversations, and you can kind of get a feel for people's personalities, which is good. I think it can help filter out and establish trust for relationships with people over the long haul, which is critical. And you can take a lot of chats offline as well. So I think Clubhouse is going to be around for a long time. I think it's a good tool. It's another extension of social media where we are right now, to progress these relationships in crypto. And obviously, you get bad actors and people that may be not as knowledgeable as some others, but there are some smart people that are coming into some of these chat rooms that we all learn from. So I think it's a good thing overall.
Yeah, and I think it's good, like, generally speaking, right? So Patrick is super smart, which you guys will see as we continue this discussion, and super technical. But maybe if you're a technical person, maybe you would disagree. But I think if you're having conversations about fundamentals, about how the market is moving, about everyday decisions, connecting, I think it's a great space.
Hear me out though. Like, I'm not saying it's not bad, like a good app. I'm not saying it's not like, you know.
You technically did.
No,
Pretty much.
No, I said it's not good for like teaching people about cryptocurrency, because then I have people sliding in my DMs like, yo, can you send me links? Can you send me, like, if we were like, you know, talking over Discord, right? Like, I could just be like, yo, check the general chat. Like, this is what you kind of need. This is what you really want to like utilize. Like, this is how you set things up. Like, it's just, you know, inefficient because there's no chat function within these rooms. Now, Doge House, I've showed you this, David. Doge House actually has a chat function, and it looks exactly like Clubhouse, but it's like a web app, right? You know what I mean? It's got the little Dogecoin logo on the top, and you know, everybody loves that little Shiba. But yo, seriously though, it's like, if I'm gonna teach somebody something, like, I don't want to have to check like 2 different social media mediums just to, like, you know, help people out. And then like sometimes, bro, I have like some people sitting on like unread, like unseen for like a week or so, and I'm just like, dang, I feel like a dickhead.
No cursing only after one. No, I'm kidding. I had to say that, right? Shout outs to Cobain. See, I gave Cobain a plug even though he couldn't come on.
Right.
Too busy, right?
We appreciate him as well.
I don't. Not right now. I don't appreciate
No.
Cobain.
Oh, goodness.
Hey, I'm gonna start beef. No, I'm kidding. I appreciate him also. Let me ask this question. Do you feel that Clubhouse at least has allowed people to onboard themselves into this space in terms of especially minorities to come on and educate themselves about cryptocurrency and blockchain technology?
I'm going to say something possibly unpopular. So I personally don't like the term minorities. I don't know how everyone else on the panel feels. Like, I just will say like people of color, or, you know, people, non-white people, whatever. That's just a side note. But I do think with Clubhouse having such a large population, such a large user base of people who are, I mean, I feel like I've noticed like a lot of Black people, for instance, there are some clubs that are really driven actually by like, you know, kind of, I don't want to say driven by race, but like around a community around that. I think it's been a really nice opportunity for people to connect, if they feel more comfortable, let's say, talking about certain issues with a certain community. Like, I'm in some Spanish language communities. I think it's been nice. I don't think that it has to necessarily be exclusive to that, but I think it has maybe been a welcoming place for people to enter the space if maybe they didn't find that on a Twitter or in a Discord. I think people can maybe feel a little at home. Yeah.
Corey?
Yeah, I agree. I think, you know, for Black people and, you know, the Latino community as well, I think both of those communities, you know, I think it's important for, you know, that second group of people to come into Clubhouse, because, I mean, look at me. I mean, I kind of can, with my skin color, I can pretty much fit in with everyone. So people ask me questions all the time. I think people just feel comfortable like talking to me about anything on Clubhouse. I've had people DM me hit me up on Twitter, and they're like, "Hey man, you sound like you're knowledgeable about the space. You know, can I ask you some side questions and stuff like that?" Although sometimes, you know, it could be time consuming, and I've helped out, you know, several, and you know, I'm it's getting up in the teens now as far as many people as I'm helping out, but. And, you know, eventually people want to say, hey, can you help me with cybersecurity? Can you help me set up my cold wallets? Can you help me do this? So, and I'm getting it from like, you know, Caucasian, you know, Black, Hispanic. So it's kind of, I mean, it's cool on that aspect. So, yeah, I think the most important thing is, you know, for, you know, communities of color per se, that they can come on a Clubhouse, they can talk to people that they probably would never can talk to, you know, any traditional other social media platform in the world. You know, I've been in a room with people where literally, I mean, you have a conversation with Grant Cardone at one point. You know, you can be on stage with those kind of people. So, we've had some crypto people come into the room, like the CEOs of companies, right? Like, how often can you just directly talk to those people like that, right? So, I think it's cool for, you know, and to know that our particular race of people, whether you're Hispanic, Black, white, whatever, can just come in and just talk to CEOs of direct projects in the blockchain space is awesome. And voice communication too, right? So, and you can ask multiple questions. So I think it's awesome. It's a great thing. It's a benefit too.
Patrick,
That's a good question.
go ahead. Go.
No, I just one other thing I wanted to say too. I think it's been really great for women. So we know that that crypto has been very male dominated just by nature. Not saying that it's like, you know, kicked anybody out, but even I can see in some Clubhouse rooms where you'll see that there are no women on the panel. And so I think Clubhouse has offered a really great opportunity for women to form their own communities and for, you know, women to get together and feel like they're in a space where there's no mansplaining, right? If that's an issue that people have. Although I will say, and I say this a lot, I'm really, I would say blessed to have met you guys, because I think that we have a great community on there, but I know that everyone doesn't always feel welcome. So I think for women, it's been a really nice space to say, oh, wait, look, this is for me too. This is for all of us. I can see that someone like me is doing this. I think it's been helpful. Patrick, kicking it to you.
Okay, yo, thanks. I think ultimately it's just a matter of like people understanding and, you know, having that sort of like due diligence, like sort of like spoon fed to them in a certain regard. Because I noticed that like sometimes you'll see these rooms where there are people that are like naysayers, and then like a bunch of people come in there and they like actually want to help them understand and kind of like, you know, talk them into it a little bit. So yeah, in a certain regards, yeah, it has helped a lot of people that are minorities or, you know, people of color, you know, it sort of like understand what this technology means for the future and how they can benefit. My fear is that like they might overextend themselves and sort of get burned in the process once, you know, we actually ultimately return to that stock to flow model. So it is what it is. I think Clubhouse is probably like holding BTC above that stock to flow model in certain regards. And also, you know, all these corporate CEO, like, you know, people just dumping their treasuries or their balance sheets onto the ledger too. So we'll see what happens.
I see Clubhouse being just a huge benefit to everybody in general. But, you know, coming on to Clubhouse, and I'm on there all the time because I'm an addict now. I'm a Clubhouse addict, and it's nice to see everybody, you know, everybody from the different lives of, you know, wherever, you know, you can be from anywhere, just coming on there and just having a good conversation. But it has opened doors for me, like personally, me seeing like it's opened doors for certain people to come on and, you know, have an opportunity to, you know, get into this space. So that's how I feel great that Clubhouse has given that opportunity. I agree with you with Discord. I like Discord and everything, but I think Clubhouse is just way easier. It's just click, I'm here, I'm in the room, I'm done. And that brings me to my other thing. Like, how do you guys feel about the Bitcoin rooms?
Ooh.
Are they good for somebody who comes in brand new to the space, or are they horrific for somebody who's just brand new entering this space right now?
Just those two options, David? Just good or horrific?
There's no middle ground.
Dang, there's no in
zero middle
between.
ground. What in between you can't even go in between with this.
Horrific. I'm going to come out there and say it, horrific, because they're telling these people, no man, don't look at anything else, bro. It's all dog, it's all trash. You know what I mean? Like it's all just a dumpster fire. You know, just keep your eyes on Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the universal gold standard of the cryptocurrency space. Just keep your eyes on BTC. And that's like stupid. It's like saying, yeah, you know, pizza's delicious. Pizza's great. But don't have tacos, man. Don't have like ice cream. Like, what are you doing, bro? You should just be eating pizza all day long. You know, like
Hold on. You have pizza with ice cream?
yeah, that's my favorite topping right there, ice cream. Yep.
Leslie?
All right, so I'm going to say I've met some great people in those rooms, and I've met some actually really smart people. I personally think, though, if you're coming into the space, I think it's important to inform a new person that Bitcoin isn't the only thing. Like, yes, Bitcoin was the first. Bitcoin, you know, has the biggest market cap. Obviously, it's had that forever, but I don't think that it's the best thing to tell a new person to not look at anything else. So I would prefer that a new person starts out in a room that's really friendly, speaking of Clubhouse, that's friendly to discussion, where they can ask questions. If they're noticing, for example, like we just had the Tether situation happen, where they can ask, like, what does this mean for the space? Or where they can ask about XRP freely, and what does this mean? Why are we waiting for regulation? I would rather have them, excuse me, come into a room where they can feel comfortable asking questions and getting answers. That would be my preference. And that would be my recommendation. But I do think, like, I've gone into some of the Bitcoin rooms and I have learned things about Bitcoin, which is great. I just think new people might be better served with one that's a little more open, for sure. Because I think it's a great space. Look, and we know that scams exist. So we're not, acting like everything is beautiful and rosy and rainbows. Like, we know scams exist. We know every coin isn't going to make it, right? We know every currency won't be here. But that's why we kind of need those spaces to be able to talk about the nuances of this.
Yeah, but ultimately, right, whenever they talk about just Bitcoin alone, right, they're disregarding so many other, like, formats and technology for blockchain. And that's the reason why I think it's terrific, right? Because you're completely overlooking smart contracts, you're overlooking non-fungibles, you're overlooking,
yeah,
it's a lot of like DeFi protocols, you know what I mean? Like tons and tons of like flash loans, like all these tools that people could like kind of like, get told about or like, get learned on. And so it is what it is.
Get learned. I like the way you said it. Learned on.
And I like your analogy about the pizza. Like, I use one about water. I'm writing something now for G Media. It's like, look, yes, water is number one, right? Water is the most consumed beverage right now, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't pay attention to carbonated drinks. And that doesn't mean coffee isn't something we love. And that doesn't mean tea doesn't have a place, right? Like, there's market share for all of those things. We should be able to pay attention and discuss all of those things. So I think you're right. I think to only talk about Bitcoin is doing a disservice to the market.
Corey?
I think I'm more leaning towards more the service. Let me tell you why. I think there's it's definitely more negative than positive here, because one thing is like, okay, Bitcoin might be a safe place to, buy, right? Because it's been around for a long time. It's more, it's more of a common asset that people can get hold of pretty quickly. And it's not a fraud, it's not a scam at this point, right? That's kind of how I feel about it. So if I were to tell someone to buy Bitcoin, I would feel confident in the fact that knowing that if they just bought Bitcoin over the long haul of their lifetime, they're going to have extra, some extra capital, if they continue to buy, especially if they bought, the dips and that dollar cost averaging in. So that's in a way, that's great. I think people should understand what Bitcoin is when they come in, for sure, right? Because that's like the backbone. That is the foundation of crypto, So, however, to disregard these other altcoins or other cryptocurrency projects is doing a disservice to the entire community. And one of the main reasons why is, bro, like these other projects, Ethereum, Polkadot, Cosmos, Near, Solana, ecosystems, even Doge, like, if you look at it, like, they're employing people. Like, people are getting jobs within these communities, right? They're making money. And that's a big thing that people miss out on, is like, we need to, especially in America, like, people are underemployed or unemployed right now at a high rate. And like, people can come into blockchain space, not even just from a technical space, and get jobs within these communities if they want to, right? You know what I mean? And be a part of a whole and different entire universe. And I think that's why one of the main reasons I believe is this service, because like, if you look at an ecosystem, like example, Polkadot, they got hundreds and hundreds of developers that are working, right? That's getting paid. They have business development guys. They have, government people that's working, building governance models and stuff like that. So different skill sets are in that, community managers. Like, all those people are contributing. They're getting jobs, but they probably would have never got in the traditional space. So in my opinion, and that might be actually more fact than anything too, actually, it might be more an opinion. But I mean, if these companies, these organizations are employing people, and they're going to be around for a long time, I think they should be talked about. And I think people should have an opportunity to understand what they're doing, because they're contributing to the entire ecosystem. So that's kind of how I feel about it. So those Bitcoin rooms overall, not so good.
I think we need to let people, just real quick,
No, go for it.
So my whole career, I feel like as a writer, right? And even now me being a speaker and doing these kind of shows, like I want to give people information so that they can make their own decisions, right? Like we're adults here. So if I can explain something to you and you decide, actually, no, that's not really for me, or I looked it up and that's not really for me, fine. Like I respect that. But what I would hope is that we are able to provide people information so that they can decide for themselves. And I think when that's missing, that's when it can be a little bit unfortunate, and and like we're talking about, a bit of a disservice for sure.
Yeah, like Bitcoin isn't going to cover cloud computing, right? Its only purpose is to be a ledger. And like what we need right now is like the unification and like resource allocation of like the world's computers to come together over these ledgers and like empower humanity to do things that they've never imagined possible. And Bitcoin isn't going to facilitate that alone. So like, I don't care what a maxi says, like it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I think some people have already said it's like a religion in those rooms too. So it's like a little cult that they got going on. I don't know how long it's going to last. I don't think it's going to last forever. But, even some of those guys, I think are eventually going to be like, you know what, this is probably not good for the ecosystem and start breaking off at some point. But right now, it's like, it's just really weird going into those rooms because they'll just program one way, and it's, well, most of them. There are some of them that are not. They won't speak up as much as some of the other ones do. So, go ahead.
Tribalism, do you feel it in this space?
It's always been there.
No, but I'm just saying, do you feel it more now? Look, I'll give you an example. Dogecoin goes ahead and, rockets. Okay. I know Patrick is like, he's thrilled with this subject right now. Like Dogecoin takes off, right? It's like mooning. Okay. I don't care if it was Elon Musk talking about it or whoever. It's mooning. And it's, it's breaking social media, records in terms of, engagement. Yet, and it's an innocent meme coin. It's innocent. It's an innocent meme coin. Yet, and this is not to get on, Bitcoin maxis, but like they couldn't stand it that a meme coin that has brought in new people. These people did not exist. Okay, these people were not on crypto Twitter. These people were not hanging out on Clubhouse. They got into this through Robinhood, who, excuse my language, lady, sorry, Les, but fuck Robinhood. They come in. Oh, Leslie's gonna kick my ass after this.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine.
They come in and they go through Robinhood. They get onto Dogecoin. Now we have new people coming in. So our job as a community, being that we are so small, is no matter your following, no matter the following size, is to help educate people, at least on the ground floor level, to simplify it for them. Tell them that, you don't own the keys to your cryptocurrencies that you got from Robinhood. Like stuff like that, instead of saying, how dare you get into Dogecoin? You are crazy. The amount, the craziness that I seen from Bitcoin maxis, it was on some, I have fun, trolling with some, but this was on another level. This was over here somewhere. It's usually here, but it was like here. Like I should even, I wish I could extend my arm, but it was hardcore. I mean, Dogecoin, like, we're onboarding new people. How do you feel about Dogecoin bringing in new people into the space?
I mean, I think it's interesting. I know somebody who came in on Dogecoin and was really happy, right? Like made some money. I think that to your point is an opportunity to educate people, because I don't think everyone who came in on that understood that Doge was founded, as a meme coin, right? Like maybe they thought it had utility. So I think that's a chance to talk to people about, cool, you made money on this, just so you know, like when you're researching the space, now that you're into it, when you're making up your portfolio, you might want to look at, okay, does this have utility? Who's the team? Who's behind it? What have they done before? right? But to make it a space where people feel like they can ask you these things. So they don't have to be hiding in Patrick's DMs, like on the weekend. So they can just ask if the question strikes. And I think if we can get to a friendlier place, people will perhaps even have better outcomes. Look, I don't provide financial advice, but what I do say is if you ask me a question and I can answer it, I will do so to the best of my ability. And I think bringing people in with the Doge creates an opportunity for questions to be asked. When people see money in their account, all of a sudden too, because there have been really unfortunate issues in our community about the legitimacy of it, right? Like people have been saying, Bitcoin is a scam, like all this stuff is a scam. When you see money in your account, it's like, wait, hold on, this is real. This is real. And I think that kind of exposure is helpful to people so they can then see, okay, wait, this is a market. I can do research. I can learn more. I think it's helpful. What do you guys think?
Patrick? Because I know you love Dogecoin.
Yeah, man, I love those cute little bundles of puppies that everybody likes to tout around, claiming that they have financial profit. Yeah, man, that's adorable. It's like, walking down the park, right? And you see a little Shiba Inu, and the first thing you think is like, bro, I gotta buy some Dogecoin. Or like, you're looking at Snoop Dogg, one of his albums or like a poster, or you see him on a billboard and you're like, man, I really need to buy some Dogecoin. Or like, you're listening to some Kiss comes on the radio. You're like, yo, man, Gene Simmons, bro. Yo, I heard he bought a bunch of Dogecoin, man. Let's get into Dogecoin. You know what I'm saying? Or, Elon Musk, how's the rocket just exploded? I wish somebody would just dub Dogecoin, popping out of the rocket explosion. Dude, that would have been lit. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I think it's a cute little adorable meme. It's a little joke, right? But it's being upgraded right now. Like people are actually working on it. The financial aspect of Dogecoin is probably gonna give it far more utility, and it's gonna allow it to grow as a currency. And they have a developer base now. It sort of rose from the grave. You know what I'm saying? It's not a zombie company, right? Because there's tons of zombie companies that are being traded right now on the CME or even on Wall Street. It's it's an open ledger that anybody can just tap into on their computer and get some without even buying it. There's 5 million of them that are issued every single year. And it's great for money velocity. It just makes sense. It's actually a no-brainer when it comes down to being utilized as a currency. Unlike Bitcoin, a lot of people they don't want to spend their Bitcoin. They'd rather just, put that Bitcoin logo on their chest and be like, yeah, I'm hodling to the day I die. I'm taking it with me, So it just makes sense.
Corey?
Oh,
here we go.
I'll be honest with you. I was against Dogecoin for the longest time, right? Dogecoin used to break my heart, but I was against it. And it's even tough for me to be converted over to the fact that this is useful for the community and the ecosystem. But I am going to say that with Elon and other people tweeting about it and it getting recognition and it being around for so long and people have known about it for so long, and it was initially a laughing coin and not as much as a laughing coin now to be just it's a joke coin. It might be making that transition into something like what Patrick was mentioning, that more developers are coming on and going to put it into different ecosystems, and actually it might have a better store of value in the future. But right now, the store of value is the network effects in the community being able to talk about it, really. So I think talking about Dogecoin right now.
I see Patrick shaking his head.
Corey, bro,
Patrick shaking
no store of value, man. It's the fungibility. You know what I'm saying? Bro, dude, if I'm gonna play some digital poker, right? I'm not gonna deposit Bitcoin, dude. If I'm gonna go to Satoshi Dice or something, I'm not gonna deposit Bitcoin. You know what I mean? I'm gonna get some Dogecoin and just send it there and just gamble.
And I think this is what makes Dogecoin so cool, right? Because it's I can't.
You know what, Corey? You know why? He's just mad because he wants turtle coin to get some limelight here, but he don't really like the dogs. He likes the turtles, man. It's okay, man. Are you smoking on air? Never mind. He's vaping. I'm looking the entire time. What is he putting in his? Never mind. It's unfiltered. Les,
Yeah.
let me ask you this question. When did you go ahead and take the red pill and feel woke?
With crypto?
When was that? Yeah, when was that moment where you know, in crypto, that like you finally realized, man, this system's, and I'm gonna be nice, I'm not gonna cuss, audience, but when you were like, man, this system's messed up. Hold on, like crypto is the answer. Like, when was your moment? When did that moment happen?
That's a great question. I just wrote about this actually. So I really started understanding how much possibility there was when a friend of mine showed me his account balances. And I was like, oh, I was like, oh, that's what we're doing today. I'm like, okay, you've had what kind of return? I think at the time he was in Cardano. And I'm like, oh, you've had that kind of return? Okay. Because these kind of returns, you know, that we've been seeing in the market that we're in, and of course there are market cycles, right? But you don't see that in stocks every day, right? Like in stocks, if you get an 8 to 11% return, like generally you're probably pretty happy. And like here we are in crypto, some of us turning our noses up at a 2 times return. We're like, 3 times return, that isn't enough. And it's like, what world are we in where this is not enough? So I think when I realized the kind of return that you could have and the kind of technology that was, you know, unfolding, that's when I was like, okay, I get it. And again, I think that's why I go back to Doge and saying the balance in your wallet can be very convincing, because it was helpful to see it. It was helpful to know that he was not making this up, that this was a real thing. So I would say that was helpful. And I think that's why community and these kind of talks are important, because then you can also learn from other people's mistakes. Because let's be real, also, people have lost, you know, real funds in this space. And of course, we know you don't lose money until you cash out, right? But, you know, people have lost a lot in their portfolios. There are risks as well. And I don't want to be Pollyanna and make it all, you know, sunshine. And like I said, all sunshine and rainbows. But I think when I saw the potential for wealth building that exists here, that are not, it is not necessarily happening in other industries. And when we talk about, for example, people of color, so I've written about this as well, like there is a very real racial wealth gap in this country. And it goes back, there are reasons for it, you know, like we understand that there have been barriers to entry in certain sectors, you know, for people of color who maybe haven't been able to buy houses in certain areas, or we're not able to secure mortgages, that kind of thing, right? And so this presents an opportunity for us all to be in this space and to potentially grow wealth, to potentially build wealth. And so when I see that for myself, and when I can see it, you know, growing even when I'm involved in it, I'm like, this is cool. This is something we should be talking about. So I appreciate that we're doing that now. And I think if you're into it and you're listening and you're on the fence, or if you're new, you know, again, I'm not giving financial advice, but I would just say it's really worth looking into. It's really worth giving it a little bit of your time to do some research and think, is this something that I might be able to benefit from a little bit? I think that's when I realized, when I could see the success that other people were having around me, for sure.
That's dope.
Like
Patrick, when was your woke moment?
Well, I'd say straight out of high school, back when I was like 19 years old, I asked myself, like, where does this money even come from? Like, how does it move? And that's when I sort of discovered Mike Maloney's Hidden Secrets of Money. And he sort of broke it down, right? He pretty much taught everything, taught me what I didn't learn in school. And now I believe his videos are being utilized on high school grounds and college campuses all over the country, maybe even all over the world. But yo, Leslie, to that point that you made about how, like, if you make like 8 to 11% gains in the stock market, that's a pretty good return, right?
That's a pretty good return.
There's a lot of people that actually think otherwise, right? I'm involved in a Discord server where there's a gentleman out in California where he wakes up every single morning and his job is to track dark pool money in the stock market. You know, that those hedge fund balances that are pretty much endorsed by the system, you know, like they're benefactors of the financial reserve monetary policy. And then they literally pull the trigger and you can see a stock jump from like $8 to like $40 in like 3, 4, 5 minutes right after the breaker hits. And yeah, he makes big bucks, like bangs, like, bro, it's crazy. Like, bands on top of bangs on top of bands. Like this guy literally can like take a balance of like, you know, maybe like 100 shares or so, and then like watch that like pay his bills for the entire day. He makes like 2 or 3 trades. He looks away from his computer. He's like, "Yep, I'm going to go work out, do some martial arts." Like it's literally, that's exactly what happens in this space. And there's a lot of volatility in the stock market because of dark manipulation. And that's one of the reasons why I'm so woke to like, you know, the cryptocurrency side of things, because like I see that manipulation happening over there, and you know, they don't really care much to like, you know, make it fair for the regular Joe, right? Like you actually have to have an eye to see like what's going on. And then like once you realize that a lot of it's just garbage, right? It's just a bunch of manipulated garbage for the most part. Like you get completely disillusioned and you're looking like, yo, where are my alternatives? Like where isn't the institutional money, right? Like that's exactly what I see whenever I look at these cryptocurrency assets that are like, you know, actually solving problems, or, you know, they actually have like a corporate involvement, and they have like, you know, partnerships with these corporations as well, right? Like that's what I see, like, and that's what I look for, and that's pretty much like, you know, why I'm here. You know what I mean? Like, is what it is.
Or, and then we have people waiting to talk to us. So, Corey, when was your woke moment?
Shoot, I mean, I think mine has been not just one particular moment. It's been a process of moments that just added up. I think the capstone on mine was, I think I watched a 60 Minutes interview with the Federal Reserve. Chairman Powell was talking, and one of the questions was, you know, so where does this money come from? And he's like, so you guys literally, you know, I think one of the questions was, you guys literally just print money, you know, out of thin air? He's like, yeah, pretty much. We just print it, and you just create money. And I think it was just, the answer to that question was like, and just a couple of things just added up along the way, you know, to where like, all right, the stuff I've been reading and hearing that I've been trying to neglect this entire process is actually true, that they just can literally just continue to print money over and over again and just push it into the economy, right? So I think that interview and a bunch of other events that happened up to that was like, all right, I think this traditional space is, you know, although I knew about the banks and the fraud that was going on behind the scenes there, it was just like, you know, you really don't know until you get to a point where like, all right, there's a trigger there, right? And that was like my final trigger, because at that point, it was spoken right from the, you know, the lion's mouth at that point. And I was just like, well, they're just going to continue to print out money. You know, that's the reality of it. Is this is just imaginary thin air paper money, and we got to have a better solution. So crypto looks like it's going to be the way at this point. So that's kind of, and I watched it, I think sometime last year. I was kind of like 80% there, kind of like, okay, I'm getting close. I'm all in on this crypto, because I had some bad experience in 2017, right? I had biases. And then I watched the interview. I was like, this is the only option I got. So, you know what I mean?
All right.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of where I got that. Yeah.
All right. So, we got 9 callers. We had more, but we got 9 callers. We'll take a few calls. Don't worry about it. No, you guys are like, man, I can't wait to get off the show. I hope you're not saying that in your heads. But
I think it's fun, actually.
This is, you know, the whole show, the whole principle of the show is to have fun. So and educate as many people as we can. Cool. So Keith will be the first caller tonight. Let's hope that Keith, we have a problem here. A lot of people, they can afford to go into crypto, but they can't afford a microphone. So we are praying that Keith has a microphone. It says Keith's connected. Keith, welcome to Gokhshtein Unfiltered. What is going on? So this is where I say, like, people, they can go and buy you know, like any freaking. I hear sounds. Hold on. I hear sounds. It's not Ross. Keith, are you there? Keith, you have your hand up. This is not Clubhouse. This is live. Keith. All right, Ross. You know how we do. We got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So on this show, we no longer wait for somebody to connect their mic. You should have your mic on. You should have your mic on. How many times do I have to tell you?
Okay. Okay.
Let's
Mic
see if
on.
Noah can go ahead. Let's see if Noah can go ahead and put his mic on. Noah, what is Noah, congratulate. He not only does he have a mic, but he has a camera. Hello,
Wait.
Noah. How's it going?
There's no mic. It's just off my MacBook.
Okay.
So hopefully you guys can hear me. Okay?
Noah can go ahead. Let's see if
I hear you. Hold on. Somebody got like background noise.
That's Noah, bro.
does he have
Noah, you got the background noise?
Oh wait, hold on.
He's watching the stream.
Yeah. Just like take your time, man. Take your time. We're just waiting here, man. It's all
No,
you,
it's
bro.
like, no, it's like Mike who? Mike who?
Noah, go ahead. Noah, anytime.
Hey,
now,
Noah,
man.
you're muted. If you're talking, we can't hear you.
He's dealing with his parameters. He's going through settings.
See, this is, we need
How do
to
I-
develop
How do I get the loop off? I can't.
the loop.
Hey, Noah, you're muted. If you're talking, we can't hear you.
You could just mute the tab that's like outputting the
All right,
audio.
Noah, you fix that. Ross, put on the next one and then bring back Noah once his mic is fixed.
we need
How
to
do
develop.
How do I get the loop off?
Yeah, I feel like I'm in the future. I'm going into the past.
Yeah, there's an interesting delay.
Oh, hell no.
What?
Ross is dying laughing.
Okay.
Abe, I'm praying, please. Can you have a microphone?
It says
Just-
connecting. It says we're connecting to audio.
Tell them to turn off the stream and we'll be good. I'm calling it.
Well,
next
do you
time.
want to say what was your woke moment, David? While we're waiting, what clicked for you? I feel like we talked about this, but I don't know. What was the one moment?
I was sitting and watching TV. It wasn't the 60 Minutes thing. I saw that though, but I was sitting and watching TV and I'm watching the stock market and I'm watching it like just go up. And we have 42 million people at this point unemployed.
Hmm.
And I'm like, stores are closing down, small businesses are going out of business. What is going on? Where's this money coming from? And if we have this money, why isn't it going to small businesses? And don't tell me about no PPP, loans, because I know a bunch of small businesses that couldn't get one. So, but Harvard did for 9 million, Harvard, okay, they needed money. Really? So I'm looking and I'm like, okay, something's wrong here. Like 2 + 2 is 5 right now. It is not 4. There is no way the stock Tesla is worth like $2,200. I'm like, what? Nobody's even driving right now. So I just sat there and then, and I was like, there's something wrong with the system. Like you already knew something was wrong with the system, but now you really, like, especially being locked down, restrictions everywhere, you're like, okay, something's wrong. And that was like, it probably happened in March. I already knew about it, but really like it hit me in March, like something's wrong. So.
Got it. Yeah, it was a rough year for sure.
Yo,
Yeah,
there's
that's-
this guy I like to watch right before I go to sleep at night because he always uploads at like 3 o'clock in the morning. His name is the Money GPS. David, that's his name. It's the same name as you, David. And he
Smart
talks
people.
about like special purchase vehicles and repo operations, and he gets into the intricacies of the financial rot that's underlying the system. And like literally, dude, he just brings so much insightful like knowledge to like my ear hole right before I go to sleep. And I'm just like, yeah, that's why I'm hodling. Yeah, that's why I don't have.
Patrick, do you put on your night light before you go to sleep, or you don't?
Yeah, it's like yeah. My nightlight is like it's like got Care Bears on it, so like you can see like a bunch of bears, and like right before I go to sleep, I'm like, fuck you, Bobo.
This is
What's
Clubhouse
going on?
right now.
Yeah, for real. After one. Fens,
Right.
Fens, how's it going?
Good morning. Very well. How are you, David?
Very good. Welcome, and thank you for calling up. What do you have on your mind tonight, and who do you want to talk to tonight?
I think this question's for Patrick. I want to know more what he thinks about NFTs. And Kings of Leon have just announced their new album will be released solely on NFT. Is that the future for music and other media? What are your views, Patrick?
Knew this was going to happen. I knew somebody was going to come at me with this question. So yeah, I'm super excited for NFTs. I definitely believe that it's the future of digital ownership and distribution of media. And I'm not surprised that Kings of Leon is getting involved in this space at all. And actually, in fact, I think they might make more money than they've ever made in their entire careers because they're releasing through this digital medium where the fans can pretty much determine what the value ultimately is, right? Like, and the fans are going to be able to say whether or not like this is like a multi-million-dollar project. But I don't think like an album is enough, right? Personally, I think what they need to do is they need to sort of step into an arena with partnerships of like different sorts of, NFT marketplaces, right? And then pick and choose which one they like the best and then partner up and have like a custom tailored website and then host like an auction where the fans can pretty much like not only like bid up, right? And then all the bids like come in real time. You can see all the bids happening. And then whoever bids like can win like, let's say for instance, an exclusive experience with the band, right? As long as you're like within like the top 50 or like the top 30, for instance. And then not only that, like if you even bidded, like you get a proof of attendance that you went to the auction. So even if you aren't in the top 50, you can still be a benefactor of the NFT. You get like a loyalty NFT that you can redeem at any of their shows whenever they're touring. And that right there is the future. Like you're providing closure for the fans, not only the winners, but also the people that engaged, like the people that wanted to provide value in the first place to even push up the price. And then you create momentum from that. And it sort of lifts up the floor for people to get involved and like understand that, hey, I don't really need to be like $1,000 investor, or I don't need to be like $1 million investor or like $1 billion investor. I could just like, throw my hat into the ring and then like have that proof of authority within the space and like, just contribute any way that I possibly can and then still benefit from the movement, right? Pushing the decentralized nature of this entire creative medium, which is non-fungible tokens, forward through music and listening and royalty rights, right? So yeah, that's what I think they should do. But I can't wait to see what they sort of deploy and like who their partners are in this space. Hopefully they don't just like, drop on Zora or, drop on Nifty Gateway, and then they don't even have full like, provenance and say over the way that the content is distributed. So we'll see what happens.
Fens, does that answer your question? Man, then good one, Patrick. Holy.
Yeah,
right.
Patrick, you obviously work in this sphere. Are more bands and more artists coming round? Is it like Chili's is the protocol for the sports? Will there be a new protocol set up for just for music artists? Is this going to develop further?
Yeah, there are plenty actually. In fact, there's one protocol that I'm actually arranging a development meeting with, I believe tomorrow. I don't really want to like, spill the beans, but pretty much they have an ERC 1155 marketplace where you can go and sort of like shop around through different artists, right? And then like crowdfund your project and, make a change through like this new medium of like non-fungibility within the music space. And not only that, like they're not just doing it for royalty rights, they're doing it for listening rights as well. But the beautiful part about it is that like you as a fan can make a bunch of playlists, share it around with your friends, and you can earn ERC20 tokens, which are called rocks. And then you can sort of liquidate those if you want to and buy Ethereum or buy Bitcoin or whatever altcoin that fancies your eye, right? Which is a really cool thing about this space. And the platform I'm talking about is Rocky.app. And they've been sort of like building out these tools over the span of like the past 4 years, right? Throughout the bear market. And yeah, they sort of like forked another ledger because like the project pretty much went defunct, but the true owner of it is back, and he's been building behind the scenes for the longest time. There are other protocols as well that I think are incredibly powerful. What Zora SDK is doing and what Cargo.build is doing is really cool. Like you can have like smart contract royalties for ERC 1155 or 721, you know, being distributed to like 15 other addresses, right? Your contributors or your collaborators. I think that's super powerful. So yeah, there's a few, but I don't really want to like yap your head off. Yeah. Hopefully
You don't want to yap? Are you sure? Tell us how you really feel, bro. Because like,
I'm tapping out.
holy.
We're just getting started right now, bro. We just
oh my god, this is going to continue right into Clubhouse. Fens, hopefully, you know, Patrick Boot Jr., our senior tech writer here and analyst, has answered your question. Has he?
He certainly has. Absolute pleasure.
And make sure to connect with him, okay? Make sure to connect with him. This guy's he's brilliant, man.
Cheers, Patrick. Thanks, David.
Cheers, bro.
Not a problem. Who's the next caller? Hopefully he has a microphone. Like imagine a microphone. That'd be neat. No.
Over under microphone.
Ross, put on your microphone. No. Ross. Ross. I swear to God, I want to hit you with a bottle, bro. Ross McDonald, by the way, shout outs to him. Every Wednesday, man. We have how many calls are jumping on?
Okay, is my audio good? Can you guys hear
me?
All
right, so put PD to the side. Let's go ahead and go with Noah here. Noah, what's going on? You're on Gokhshtein Unfiltered. Loving the headset. I don't know who you took it or stole it from, but what's going on?
Not much. Thank you for having me, David. And how you guys doing, Leslie, Patrick, and Corey? Nice to be here. And thank you guys for doing this. I've definitely learned something from you guys, and just appreciate your guys' time.
Awesome. Thanks for being here.
Yeah. So one thing you guys mentioned was like that that moment that you kind of realize like what this is all about. That my moment was I was a sophomore at college at the University of Arizona, economics student, and one day I was just kind of researching like different ways to make money. Broke college student, so that's what I was doing, finding out ways to make money. Long story short, discovered Bitcoin and went down that rabbit hole. But what really did it for me was smart contracts and Ethereum. That kind of just opened up like a whole nother world for me to envision, like decentralized organizations and how you can create like decentralized banking for people with no access to banks. Something that really just kind of hit me hard right from the beginning was like people in all these countries, the banks have no incentive to help them because they can't profit off them. But with these cryptocurrencies, and at the time I was like the Litecoin guy because I couldn't send Bitcoin. I didn't have enough Bitcoin to send it, especially when the fees were rising in 2017, but there was Litecoin. And if you had 50 cents of Litecoin, you could send it to somebody across the world. And so that was my moment. It's been about 3 years, nonstop learning. I dropped out of college just to study and pursue this on my own, learning a little bit of Solidity on the side and stuff like that. But I guess the question for all of you, if I had one, was when I introduce people to cryptocurrency and really, sit down with them for 2 or 3 hours or so, I would bring these people into my apartment. A problem I have is just like, at what point do we value the dollar we hold to the exchange rate of like the currency we hold? So people I ask are like, well, when am I going to be able to cash out and back into dollars? But cryptocurrencies with utility, isn't the actual value going to be in owning the asset? So how,
I can go with this, but I'm, because I'm a nice guy, I'm going to let the panel jump in here and answer your question.
sure.
First off, man, like I completely like love your standpoint, bro, and I get it. Like, for the most part, like Bitcoin is out of reach to the vast majority of people in our society, right? Like it's kind of a
Right.
mess.
We're 0.0 something percent. No, even.
Exactly, right? So like if Bitcoin was fairly distributed, there'd be about 0.28 BTC sent to every single person on the planet right now. And like that's kind of outrageous if you think about it. Like they're going to be like millionaires in this world that won't be able to acquire a whole Bitcoin like by the end of this decade. So hear me out, right? Ultimately, I think in regards to your question, I disregard fiat when I'm trading. I trade against other assets, right? Like I really try to avoid trading versus the Tether, right? Or the DAI. That's just something that I do personally, but I completely get it because a lot of people, they just see the societal, like, prismatic, like, essence of the dollar in their day-to-day lives, right? Like they trade in it, they talk to each other about it, right? Like whenever they go to the grocery store, they're spending it, like whenever they get a bill in the mail, it's just like representing like the value that they owe in dollars, right? So yeah, a lot of people, like, they're still conditioned through this social programming. And yeah, it's kind of hard to break that. It really is.
Absolutely.
Like, it's a matter of people sort of waking up and coming to the conclusion that, hey, I can use these currencies to trade versus other currencies, get myself out of debt, and then like literally live on my own terms, buy my house in Bitcoin or an altcoin, buy my car in Bitcoin or an altcoin, and literally just buy anything that I need through these cryptocurrencies. And once they experience that, right? Once they experience the true barter aspect of these digital currencies, only then will they realize, okay, I don't need to go back to a bank account.
Exactly. Or you own your
I'm gonna pop in if I'm gonna go next.
Go ahead, Les.
Also, I just want to say I really appreciate your story. So thank you for sharing it with us. And I think it's super cool that you have dedicated yourself to learning.
Yeah,
learning is what helps us grow. So I love that. Thank you for sharing. I will offer this. I think that we are still early in the space, right? So even though we know that your average person isn't going to be able to buy an entire Bitcoin, there are still other opportunities. And I did just do a story on this. Like, it's a great question. I think I did a story on this just now for G Media about how to talk to your family and and your friends about crypto. And what I would like to offer you, Noah, is that everybody's going to be on their own journey. So we all have our own goals. We all have, we have our own short-term goals. We have our own long-term goals. Some people are in this space because they do want to pay off their debt, or they want to buy a house, or they want to, finally, give money to their mom or whatever. As you mentioned, I think you made a really good point about people in other countries. Like, people actually want to be able to have this be something that they can send. And so I think we need to respect that we are all at different points in the journey. So while, person A might want to hold and never go back to fiat ever again, person B might want to take out a little bit of fiat, and that's actually okay. And I think, if you're talking to your friends and your family and you're generously sitting down with them for 2 or 3 hours, to allow them the time to decide what is most appropriate for them, because we all have different circumstances, we all have different backgrounds, we all have different amounts of money to invest. And so I don't think that it needs to be incumbent upon us to make our dreams other people's dreams. And that kind of goes back to the Bitcoin thing, right? Like, if somebody wants to be all in on Bitcoin and that's it, cool, right? Like, that's your decision. But if I can present another way of thinking to you, and you can consider it, I think that's all we can really do. So I would say for you to continue, if I can, to continue to share what you know, but to also respect that other people may be in a different place than we are, and that is totally fine, right? And that's what makes this such a beautiful space, because there's
that's the beautiful thing.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
Wow.
And maybe they'll change, right? Like, maybe in a few years they'll be asking you, like, wait, how do I get how do I get unbanked? And cool, if you want to talk to them, cool. But if they don't,
or you have like XRP and can just go between all assets.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe this is what's important to them. And so I just think it's good for us to respect, what other people decide for themselves is what I would say.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, Leslie.
Yeah, I think.
Go ahead, Cor.
Yeah, well, David, I'm going to be a little bit. I think I can help him as well. First of all, no, it takes a lot of courage, for you to try to bring in people to help them get into crypto and stuff like that. I can tell you got a pretty incredible story for where you are right now, right? You're learning, you're educating yourself, you're learning development, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Because we definitely need more developers in the ecosystems doing smart contracts, doing some of the programming language. I think you sound like a pretty young guy. I think getting into that space right now will be definitely beneficial for your future. As far as this, I personally believe people in their life and their journey, they need to be in a position in their life to where they're ready to receive the information too, right? Yeah. It took a lot of things for you to go out there and want to get something new and want to understand and learn. They just might not be at that point in their life where they're, because of circumstances, environment, or whatever factors, right? That they have that hunger to do that, right?
Right.
So one of the things is they're probably going to be looking at you now because you've been dropping nuggets on them and be like, yeah.
That's how it's been. I started a Facebook group about, the 2 years ago, and I have like 200 people that I've talked to. They follow for the nuggets, right?
Right. The nuggets, that's the key. And at some point they're going to see you, when you get your, when you get your house, when you get your debt paid off or whatever, you progressing because of crypto. And then a lot of them are going to tag along and be like, all right, I see what you're doing, because they have visual proof, right? A lot of people don't make decisions until they get something tangible, something visible, right? Yeah.
Well, so my first. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you can go ahead.
My first experience with that tangible, I know you mentioned that too, Leslie, and that was a big part for you, but I actually mined Ethereum back in 2017 as well off a little 1060 GPU. And even though it was only $2 a day, just seeing that $2 a day and paying the 35 cents an electricity fee, and just seeing that 0.0005 electricity to currency, and it's yours now is really something intangible. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna be. I think you're gonna be best friends with Patrick. He's been smiling the whole time. He was smiling so he doesn't smile often, but just now he was smiling. He was like, "Man, I love what you just said."
Dude, I smile all the time. What are you talking about, David, bro? I smile.
You smile like I smile, bro. Okay. Listen, Noah, keep doing your thing. Honestly, when you say you go out there and you try to help people and educate them about cryptocurrency, keep doing your thing, man. It doesn't matter, like I said in the beginning of the show, it doesn't matter how many followers you have or how much engagement you get. If you can help just one person onboard themselves into this space, you've already won. You've already helped one person.
Agree.
That one person tells 40 people, and then out of those 40 people, 20 are interested, and out of those 25 get in. The whole cycle starts over again. So you're doing a great job, man. How old are you?
22.
Man, God bless you, man. Honestly, I said this last night on Clubhouse. It's going to be the younger generation that goes ahead and
I've been in the
we're
space.
We're gonna be the ones that take the bullets for everybody.
You have. I learn everything that I've learned has come from just the people right above me.
Our generation is gonna take the bullets, and you guys are gonna, you're gonna go ahead and take this to hopefully to the next level, man. With regulations and clarity all set in our benefit. So God bless you, man. I hope you keep doing your thing, man.
Thank you guys for your time. I really appreciate it.
Hey, I gotta ask.
Oh
man,
yeah.
Are you open to hackathons?
I haven't. I've been to one in Vegas, but it wasn't for cryptocurrency. But I'm open to anything.
So there's this DAO that I work with, and we're sort of organizing this virtual festival, DJs and stuff, and a
really?
Convention. Yeah, it's all digital. It's all happening inside of Crypto Voxels. This convention and then a hackathon as well. Reach out to you, man, and I'll get you in touch with this DAO. And they pay.
I will, dude. So I produce music too. I have a YouTube channel.
Oh,
right on.
Listen,
And I actually just
Oh.
minted an NFT for one of my songs like earlier today. So
Awesome.
Was it
Get in
gas?
touch with definitely get in touch with Patrick, and
I will.
let Patrick go ahead and steer you, I guess, in the right direction or wrong direction. I don't know which direction, but
Anyways,
I love you, Patrick.
Either
See,
way,
he's
it's
smiling.
gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
yeah,
either way.
it will. Anyway, yeah.
Thank you, Noah. I
Thank
Cool.
you,
appreciate
Noah.
it.
You're doing
Thank you for your
great things.
time.
Yep,
Peace.
thanks, Noah.
Man, the kids are gonna lead this. I'm telling you. I said it
Yep.
yesterday, man. We're gonna take the bullets, man. You'll see. Like we're gonna, the fight's coming. They're gonna try to, tie our hands, and they're gonna make it difficult until they
Yeah.
finally accept it. And
We're gonna
that
be
generation,
the ones. We're gonna be the
that
ones telling
generation's
the
gonna
war stories.
exactly. We're gonna be telling the war stories. Yeah, exactly, Corey. We have one more. I think we have one more person that wanted to get on the mic, and then we can do our closing statements, and we'll be on our way. First of all, again, I appreciate you guys coming on tonight and chatting, especially with the community. That's big. Ross McDonald, I know you're drinking whiskey and you're probably drunk. Can you let us know if we... Oh, okay. Miguel Rodriguez. Miguel, please tell me you have a microphone. Miguel left.
No, we lost Miguel.
No,
Ross,
Because David butchered his name.
Miguel.
No, I didn't. I try to say it like I try to say it. Oh, whatever. I try to like give it like a little
Miguel.
spice. Ross, did we lose Miguel or did you kick him out? Okay, who else do we have? Perfect. Guys, if you have any closing statements, you know what? I'm gonna save Leslie. Leslie, you're gonna go last because you're gonna kill it. Patrick, go for it. Closing statements.
Hey, everybody.
What?
What were we gonna say, David? I didn't mean to
I
interrupt.
was gonna say something, but go for it, man, because you're an encyclopedia, bro.
Yeah. So my closing statements are definitely buy low, sell high. Due diligence. You'll follow me TPS0011 on Twitter. That's what's good. Also, Turtle Coin. Kudos to the moon. You know how it is. Let's roll out.
Turtle Coin. I can't believe you said that. Turtle Coin.
On the highest rated show on Wednesday nights, you got to promote Turtle Coin. Ross, can you go ahead and make sure that we have non-financial advice for Turtle Coin, especially Turtle Coin?
Yeah, this is don't buy it. Okay?
Jesus,
Turtle Coin to the moon. Okay. I'm just saying.
Corey, thank you very much for coming on last minute. Do you have any closing statements that you would like to go ahead and feed off to the crowd?
Oh yeah, definitely, for sure. Thanks for having me. I appreciate being on this panel of esteemed individuals from all walks of life. Bringing on, I think people coming into this space, don't be afraid. Get into the space, ask questions. We can talk about NFTs, talk about art, talk about all kind of cool stuff in this space. Staying clear of some of the Bitcoin specific maxi groups. Come in and come on to our discussion sometime to chop it up with us. We're open, and we'd like to have you guys come in and educate you guys and just ask questions and be a part of the community. And this space is going to continue to grow. It has the network effects now. There's going to be some big name people as over these next couple months and years coming into this space, and you guys are going to be like, wow, this is the real deal. And it's a very exciting time to be alive, especially for the millennials. And come on in. That's all I got to say.
And to the
Very cool.
to Leslie, who
pressure.
is freaking awesome, and I'm honestly, she is forget about just being just an awesome moderator. She is without a doubt one of the best moderators that you can find on Clubhouse, but she is literally like, Leslie, I am very happy to have you a part of G Media. I am also happy to have you a part of G Media, Patrick. Don't think I don't love you. I love you. I said it on air. See,
I love you
you,
back.
Patrick. Just don't stop with the turtle coin, man. I'm gonna put $50,000 into it. Leslie, the mic is yours.
Thank you. No, I'm really happy to be part of G Media, and just thank you again, David, Ross, for having me on tonight. This was super fun. This is like us doing video, what we normally do audio. So it's really great to chop it up here with Corey and Patrick also. What I would say is a lot. I do want to say that this is a space for everybody. And I think that's really important to call out. So it's not just for certain people. It's not just for people who have a certain amount of money. One thing we didn't say tonight, I don't think, is that, you know, you don't have to buy one whole Bitcoin or one whole Ethereum. Like, you can get your way in with just a little bit. I know people in the space know that, but new people may be wondering, like, wait, how am I going to come out with, you know, $1,500 US? And so you can buy in incrementally. I think it's really important to understand the fundamentals as much as possible. So, you know, be kind to yourself. There is some fear, I think, that can happen. We've seen the market go up and down. It's really volatile. So I think just understanding that, you know, we're humans in this space, and you may have some fear at first, but, you know, we're all here. We're a community. We're willing to answer questions, I think can be helpful to you as you go along. If you want to keep up with me, I'm at Leslie Quander on pretty much everything. So Twitter, Instagram, I would love to hear from you. Would love to know what your questions are as I continue writing about this space. One thing I love to do is to provide information. And so definitely feel free to connect. And I look forward to, you know, more of these talks if we can have them. I would love to come back. Look, I would love to come back if you'll have me. And I think this is really fun. So just know who you are. You know, be willing to be open to new ideas and be willing to ask questions. One thing I will say as a moderator on Clubhouse, people will sometimes be afraid to ask questions. And I want to say, if you're going to grow in this space and really in life, like you can't be afraid to do that, or you can be afraid, but ask it anyway, because that's how you learn. So push through. You got this. There's space for you. That's what I'll conclude on. Thank you.
And if you guys have been entertained by, you know, our panel here today, just know that they will be coming out with their own stuff. So you won't have to just tune in to watch them on my show. They'll probably have their own show. So, and I know that a lot of people, I saw a lot of text messages. A lot of people like, David, where's the F-bombs and where's the S words? I can't do it. I can't, guys. I did it once, twice, and I felt really uncomfortable because I think Leslie was, I felt like Leslie was going to take a bat to my head. So guys, can't be asking me to be. I can't be myself on here with Leslie on here.
Don't say that. That sounds terrible.
No, it's actually
really bad.
I had Cobain's voice in my head. And for those that don't know Cobain, it's another person who has now signed on to G Media, and his voice is in my head right now. For the past 2 days, he's been saying no cussing until after 1 o'clock. And I'm like, I'm sitting here. I threw out the F-bomb at like Robin Hood because I think they're full of S, beep, and like they robbed the retail investor. And I just like, I couldn't have the, I was forcing the F-bomb.
Look away and say it over your shoulder. Like I'll say
it. Robin Hood's full of Shih Tzus. Okay. Robin Hood is full of shiitake mushrooms. All right. Robin Hood they're gonna rob your hood. They're gonna run in late at night. They're gonna kick in the door, and then they're gonna rob your grandma. All right. Don't use Robin Hood. Damn it.
So rob your hood, man. Come on, man.
Okay.
Come on, man. But and Ross, of course, I always let Ross have a word in here, even though he doesn't deserve it, because you know, somebody told me not to get something but got something for himself. Ross McDonald, why don't you turn on that video and turn on your microphone, and you also go ahead and give us a closing statement. Ross McDonald, by the way, is the VP of Gokhshtein Media. He also has his little 10-minute little show called The Weekly Wrap Up, which gets a lot of ratings. Okay, and this week really got a lot of ratings, and he wanted to shove it in my face. But go ahead, Ross McDonald. Go ahead. The mic is yours. We're waiting.
I didn't say that. I'm good. I don't need a closing statement. I'm good, everybody. Thank you.
No. We'll close the show out once you go ahead and do the closing statement.
Oh,
Ross McDonald. Hi, Ross.
hey, everybody.
This is Ross McDonald. Ross McDonald produces, edits, does everything for G Media. I appreciate him, but for the last few days, I really don't have any appreciation for him because he's a douchebag, and he didn't allow me to get something. And I will repeat this story.
He just keeps going
until-
on and on and on.
I don't really give a shit. But he got something for himself. So, Ross, go ahead, close it up for us.
David's upset because I traded Dogecoin and I bought a motorbike with it. Anyways, thank you everybody for watching and tuning in. I don't have any more advice than anyone else has shared here, but tune in every week and enjoy more of this.
Perfect.
Wow, somebody was nervous. Okay. I don't know.
Perfect.
Between you and Noah, I don't know which one was. Okay, go ahead. Turn off your microphone. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Listen, I keep it real, 100%.
Y'all are funny.
I felt bad for him, though. Noah, Noah, you trooped it out, man. Trust me, first time I went on camera, I was shaking. I was like,
This is a hard one.
Okay.
Like you have to,
Yeah.
come on. You
Yeah.
can't just call in on your phone. You gotta show
it's
up.
scary.
It's a
Like,
brave thing.
You know,
Last
people
minute.
will be watching you. You don't know if your hat was in the right direction. You don't know what Patrick's doing. Like a lot of things are going on, right? So, but I appreciate again you guys coming on. Hopefully we do this more often. But you guys, hopefully you'll invite me onto your shows. And thank you very much for tuning into my show, Gokhshtein Unfiltered. Unfiltered is mine, by the way. Stop jacking my shit. And hopefully I see you guys next week, Wednesday nights, 9:00 Eastern Standard Time, highest rated show. And I'm not kidding. I'm not lying. Go look at the stats. Have a good one. Take care. Be safe.
Check it out.
Gokhshtein Unfiltered is brought to you by Zap Protocol, decentralized bonding curve curation market, providing access to data providers and other services through algorithmic token generation. Visit zap.org for more information. And also, Carnomaly, bridging the gap between blockchain and the automotive industry with buying, finance, and records all on chain. Visit carnomaly.io for more information.